Hey, so what I wanted to go through this morning is basically kind of introduce what I'm going to be doing for the next year or so. I'm going to put out an album. Not sure what the names are yet, but basically, I just want to. I have some friends in the East Coast, and I just wanted to go through a couple things that I'm learning. So this weekend, I'm going to upload some footage from a live stream I did last weekend where I played a friend's show, another friend that I shared the stage with, Mercedes, and she has this voice that when she starts singing and I'm playing with her and singing along with her, there's just some magic that happens. So it's I think as a musician, it's really kind of good to be around people like that bring out how do I say this? That bring out things inside of us that we didn't actually think were there. Um, I think a lot of people that collaborate with musicians or even collaborate, God, you could get this with any type of work. If it's you're going to build something, you could be in tech, coding. The second you have two people that like-minded people to be able to collaborate on something, the way that there's this push and pull and ideas flying back and forth between two individuals, what happens a lot of times is the outcome becomes something far greater than what would be possible with just the individual contributor. And I think I remember, I'll never forget the first time I stood right next to her, hearing just the power of her voice. And at the time, I kind of hadn't really, no professional training singing. I hadn't really understood really what was possible with my own voice. And then as I tried to even kind of keep up with her, I started to hear things that I'd never heard before in my own voice. So it was interesting. So I want to put some of that footage. It was really unrehearsed, which I love, and I love. Some people will be like, "Oh my God, that's really sloppy stuff." But I mean, listen, that's very weird. My GoPro just went on the mullen alarm. Shut this off. Huh. It's bizarre. Just auto started. Okay, so to get back to the topic, unrehearsed. That's good and bad, right? Some people they won't even touch anything that hasn't been rehearsed all over the place. Problem with one of the problems with over rehearsing is you overdo something. You basically, in painting, it's something like if you work something too much, like so if you're working in oil paint, right, if you're not quick with the colors while they're on the canvas or they're on the palette, or if you add too many colors to the things, or you move the paint too much, it starts to muddy up. You blend too many colors, what happens? It turns into this shit brown or gray, right? And it just muddy. You don't get the brilliance of the colors, right? So you have to stay fresh, and I think like a lot of times when you try to capture something that is spontaneous or like something that has life to it, you want a song that has life to it. You want to have that uncomfortable magic that happens when you haven't rehearsed. Sometimes if you have a song that's you've played thousands of times or hundreds of times or hundreds of thousands of times, sometimes just changing the guitar, changing from a steel guitar to a different type of guitar, that can also add a little bit of electricity that that wasn't there before. I'm not going down the road saying that, the discipline, the practice, that's very important. But there's also that magic that happens in the first take that I think is extremely valuable. Okay, so this weekend I'm gonna upload a bunch of songs that we played last weekend. A lot of those songs were very much brand new, straight out of the notebook. I had created a catalog of them on my site. And the good thing about this is, this allows you to kind of test out some new songs to a live crowd. And I was really pleased across the board with the results. The thing that I think that was most pleasing, and let's see, where did I put that thing? Here it is. The thing that I was most pleased with is this thing. So this is a little case, right? And this is, you can see it, you put the GoPro inside this. But if you look, Jesus Christ, GoPro turn off. GoPro turn off. GoPro turn off. All right, that GoPro's got a mind of its own. But what I was trying to say is this right here is something that's called a audio adapter for the GoPro. I have it in this little case. So this hooks into the side of the GoPro right here. You can see right there, it hooks right in there. And it fits all snugly, nicely in this little case. Set it up right there. So that's what it kind of like looks like when it's hooked up. But the part that's really amazing is I was able to do a line-in feed from the board to this, or if I was on the field, I don't know if anybody's ever seen this thing, but this is a Bose PA. And if you look right here, there's a line out right there. So you can see if you look at this, you got some really nice reverb, treble bass settings. It has a nice little pad between the guitar instrument or mic setting. This thing's pretty loud too as well. So if I wanted to like Bluetooth in a backing track from from a mobile device like my cell phone, I could very easily do that. And but I was talking about the line out from that PA. So I have my guitar in there, I have my mic in there, I have the reverb setting, and then I do a line out into this GoPro. And most musicians know that GoPros, good video, really low quality mics. You're not going to get a good video take from one of these. So this line in from the you can do it from the board or from that mobile PA. To me, kind of provided some really groundbreaking stuff because it sounded good. I can download the footage directly from the GoPro, not really have to massage the audio all that much, and then just throw it right up on my YouTube channel. And what does that mean? It means like the possibility of very easily streaming street performances. It's fucking awesome. That's pretty awesome. Being able to live stream things with good audio, it's pretty amazing. I think right now, just for my own use, I'm still going to add some post-production. I'm not going to live stream stuff yet because I just like to tidy this stuff up before I post it up on web. This live thing will just be like I'll just give what updates on like what I'm going to be doing over the weekend, and then from there, maybe go through, maybe review some of the things that I've done. So on the topic of live streaming too as well, there's the GoPro, right? That's one. There's another couple tools that I do have. So if I'm going to use a phone, this little guy is a really powerful mic. A couple times last winter, I didn't have. I was on a snowboard trip. I didn't really have a lot of room in my luggage, and so I brought this guy just in case I wanted to cut some vocal tracks. I knew my friend that I was visiting had a guitar, so in case I wanted to do some guitar and vocal tracks, minimum footprint in the luggage. Pretty nice little thing if you want to sit in front of the computer. If I'm mobile, this little input can work with a mobile device or a USB directly in your computer, and it works both ways. So I can use GarageBand or whatever recording interface I have on my iPad or my iPhone, or I can go use this directly into a laptop with like kind of a small interface system, like a field recording system. I know there are better units. I have friends with Zooms and stuff like that, but this guy is, God, it's surprisingly good. And you not only have a connection to your computer, but you also have a headphone monitor. So you see on this side, you see the little you can see the little headphone icon on there. So that's basically the volume of your headphone monitor. And then this is basically the gain for the microphone, so the input gain for your microphone. So, I think these are like $200. It's called a Blue Raspberry. This is a really powerful, for me, it's a really powerful field tool. Especially if I wanted to have a tripod and then just use my iPhone 10 for video, which is legit. I mean, these cameras on the iPhone are pretty powerful now. I will either use this setup or just one of these. But this is, the Rode Field mic is extremely. I've used this with this is a shotgun kind of field mic. I've used this with the GoPro too as well. This works really well, but now that I kind of have gone down the path of just going straight line into the GoPro from the board or from that Bose PA, I think I'm just going to use that from now on, just because it was just straight clean audio, already EQ'd. I had the reverb on there. It was perfect for me. Okay, cool. So this weekend, I'm going to update all that footage. I'm not sure. I mean, God, I might have flubbed a couple of tunes, so I'm obviously not going to upload those. But it's really going to be kind of a progressive, as I do this, as I upload this footage. It'll be interesting to see, how this first recording went, and then fast forward, 3 months later, a quarter later, after Mercedes and I have been singing for a while, see how that works out. And it's really just seeing it would really be just a comparison and contrast of seeing how we've improved over the years. And I think that's, as a tool, I think that's one of the most powerful things in video is there's footage on here called Night Out with the Tonk. And I can tell you right now, at the end of that night, after lugging all the, drums, the amps, the gear, the guitars, everything, getting, played till closing that night, or our buddy's band played till closing, and we were out supporting them. We didn't get home till probably 3 in the morning. There's probably some after parties, offloading an entire truck bed full of, our band and a friend's band's amps and equipment. By the end of the night, I was like, oh, that sucked. I didn't even think about the performance we did earlier. I was like, my body was done, my brain was done, and I had just given everything. And I was like, oh, that just sucked. I don't want to do that again. Which is, it's kind of funny, So you get all excited to do this, perform, and then your body's just exhausted, and your brain is just like, oh man, I'm done. So my point being is, had I not had the video, when I watched the video a couple weeks later, I was like, looked at some of the songs, looked at the solos my buddy did, and I was like, oh my God, we were on fire. And, without that footage, then in my mind, I would have had this perception of saying, oh God, I would have kind of looked at it as like not a win. It would have been like clearly in the lost channel just because of the mental state I was in, and that just happens, Okay, cool. So I kind of talked about some of the equipment that I'm using for the video. We're going to upload some of the videos that I did with Mercedes, probably like 3 of them. No need to go. I don't need to go overkill with them. I'll just cherry pick some of the best songs that we did out of the set. There's also another band that I kind of wanted to mention and throw out there is, I don't know if anybody has seen this band called Southern Avenue. And so these guys are, I saw up at the Mammoth Blues. I saw them up at the Mammoth Blues Festival, Blues of Palooza, that happens every summer up at Mammoth Lakes, California. And these guys played, I think, probably 2, 3 in the afternoon. And they were such high energy. They were just such a high energy band. The girl that was the lead singer, just her vocal range was spectacular. I believe her sister was playing the drums, and she just had an ear-to-ear smile, and she was just locked in and just on fire. The bass player was just right there with her, really tight rhythm section. And the guitar player was had all of he just had exceptional tone and every kind of thing that you'd expect, a R&B, heavily blues influenced R&B, would sound, as a guitarist. He had everything that you'd expect from a R&B, coming out of the South, just right there, ripping chops, just straight out of something that you get from a Dwayne Allman, or God, there's so many good guitarists that hail out of the South. I'm not going to start there, but the rhythm section was right there. They had a Hammond player too as well that was just took some really good, tasty solos, and I hope that these guys are here for a while, man. They were really fun to see. They're really, when I got to buy their CD later, they're just the nicest people ever. Anyway, that's the band that I wanted to introduce a little bit. But another thing that's I'm going to try to do with this is I have a streaming software called Open. What is it called? Pardon me for a second. I'm just going to find out. I'm going to find out what this application is called that I downloaded last week. It is called OBS. OBS, and that is basically an open kind of broadcasting software. And I was reading some tutorials about adding graphics and starter scenes, and this one is just, I just turned on live stream, and that's it. Um, I'm going to learn OBS, and then next week I'm going to try to do some post production work, and just to make it look more professional. All right, I'm out. Look, I'll talk to you next week.